It was a moment that sent shockwaves not only across a college campus in Utah, but across the country. Charlie Kirk, well-known political activist, author, podcaster, and a father of 2 young children, was shot and killed in broad daylight at Utah Valley University. The shooting took place in front of a live audience of more than 3,000 people and was streamed to millions more watching online. A man who spent the last decade building a national platform, traveling from campus to campus, engaging with students in heated but civil exchanges, suddenly struck down in the middle of doing exactly that. Kirk wasn't just another figure on the political stage. He was one of the most polarizing voices in modern American politics. Loved by many, disliked by others, but always willing to step into the public square and debate face to face. And it was in that public square, while trading ideas with a student, that he was killed. The accused gunman, Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old student not from Utah Valley University, but from another school hundreds of miles away. His presence on that campus that morning was not accidental. It was deliberate. Now, as the investigation moves forward, the central question becomes, why? What motivated this young man to drive across state lines and carry out a targeted assassination in such a public and deliberate manner? Investigators say the answer may lie in his digital footprint, in conversations on Discord, and in the testimony of those closest to him. But for now, the evidence is still being pieced together. And tonight, we're learning new details about the case that are raising even more questions. I'm Vinnie Politan, and thank you for joining us tonight on Closing Arguments. This case has transfixed people across the world. But even as the suspect sits in custody, the investigation is far from over. There are 2 reasons for that. First, prosecutors need an airtight case. It's not enough to make an arrest. They must build a case strong enough to secure a conviction beyond any reasonable doubt, especially in a high-profile case where the death penalty may be on the table. Death penalty cases trigger automatic appeals, meaning every detail will be scrutinized. Investigators need overwhelming, ironclad evidence. Second, investigators must rule out the possibility of accomplices. Did Robinson act entirely alone? Or did someone else help him plan, prepare, or provide resources? At this point, authorities say they see no evidence of a larger conspiracy. But, to leave no stone unturned, they continue to dig. And that brings us to the most haunting question of all. Why did he do it? Why target Charlie Kirk? Why that moment, that place, that crowd? According to investigators, much of the information they've gathered about Robinson's state of mind comes not from him directly, but from family, friends, and his online conversations. Discord, a chat platform where users gather in private groups, has become a key part of the investigation. Authorities believe Robinson may have discussed his political views and his opinion of Charlie Kirk in those forums. His digital footprint, combined with testimony from people close to him, may reveal a clearer picture of motive. But another question lingers. How did he carry out the shooting? No one saw him carrying a weapon that morning. Video footage from the event shows him blending into the crowd, dressed casually, seemingly ordinary. Yet, when the shots rang out, the weapon he used was no small handgun. It was a full-sized rifle, and not just any rifle. Kash Patel, director of the FBI, revealed this week that investigators found physical evidence tying Robinson directly to the murder weapon. Patel explained that a screwdriver recovered from a rooftop contained Robinson's DNA. Investigators also located the firearm itself, wrapped in a towel, discarded in a wooded area near campus. DNA from that towel also matched Robinson. Patel's statement confirms what prosecutors need most: a direct physical connection between suspect and weapon. Utah's Governor, Spencer Cox, later described the weapon in detail. It was a Mauser Model 98 bolt-action rifle chambered in .30-06 caliber, fitted with a scope. This is not a modern semi-automatic firearm capable of rapid fire. It is a bolt-action hunting rifle. Powerful, precise, but requiring manual cycling between shots. That fact alone is significant. It means every single shot was deliberate. The shooter had to take his time, line up his target, pull the trigger, and then cycle the bolt before firing again. To help us understand the significance of this weapon, we spoke with Mario Campusano, a firearms instructor, veteran, and former federal law enforcement officer. Campusano explained that the Mauser is a long rifle, likely around 30 to 32 inches in length, weighing roughly 6 to 7 pounds. With a scope, it is deadly accurate from hundreds of feet away, and with just a few hours of practice. Even someone without extensive training could become competent at using it for long-range shots. In other words, Robinson didn't need to be a military sniper to be effective with this weapon. But this raises another mystery. How did Robinson get the rifle into position without anyone noticing? Investigators believe he may have stashed it on the rooftop ahead of time, perhaps the night before, when campus activity was minimal. That theory is supported by the discovery of the screwdriver, which Campusano speculates may have been used to gain rooftop access. The towel wrapped around the rifle may have been used for concealment. Yet, there are other theories. Some observers believe Robinson may have smuggled the rifle onto campus that morning, possibly concealed in his clothing. Surveillance video provides intriguing clues. At 8:29 a.m., cameras captured Robinson's Dodge Challenger arriving on campus. He was seen wearing shorts, a maroon t-shirt, a baseball cap, and carrying a backpack. In that footage, his stride appeared perfectly normal. No limp, no stiffness, nothing unusual. But by 11:49 a.m., less than 3 hours later, new video shows Robinson dressed in dark clothing, long pants, dark shirt, and walking with an odd limp. His right leg appears stiff, almost dragging, while his left moves naturally. Experts suggest this could indicate he was concealing something long and rigid down his pant leg, possibly the rifle. The contrast between the morning footage and the later footage is striking, and it may be one of the prosecution's strongest arguments that he smuggled the weapon in himself. Still, some experts question that theory. Defense attorneys point out that carrying a scoped rifle down one's pants is impractical. The scope could easily be damaged or knocked out of alignment, requiring recalibration. And that might explain the presence of the screwdriver. Was Robinson attempting to adjust the scope after concealing the weapon? Or was the screwdriver simply a burglary tool used to access the rooftop? Adding to the puzzle are still photos showing Robinson climbing the stairs toward the rooftop, where the weapon was found. In these stills, his right leg again appears stiff, unlike the left. It's circumstantial, but it feeds the prosecution's narrative that he had the rifle hidden on his body. Now, here's where the legal analysis becomes critical. Our panel of attorneys tonight, defense lawyers and former prosecutors, point out that DNA on the weapon and the towel is extremely damaging evidence. But defense attorneys argue that the way FBI Director Patel phrased it, positively processed for the suspect, may not carry the same weight in court as a definitive match. That subtle difference could be something defense attorneys seize upon during trial. Meanwhile, conspiracy theories are already flourishing online. Some claim Robinson was a patsy. Others suggest there was a second shooter. And still others say the government is hiding key facts. These narratives, however unfounded, can seep into the public consciousness and make prosecutors' jobs harder. We've seen this dynamic play out in other high-profile cases where online chatter eventually shaped the defense strategy in court. As we sit here tonight, investigators are still piecing together the timeline. When exactly was the rifle placed on the rooftop? Did Robinson bring it with him that morning? Or did he prepare the site days in advance? Why the wardrobe change? What role did the screwdriver play? And most importantly, why did he target Charlie Kirk? For now, what we know is this. Investigators have the weapon, they have DNA evidence, they have surveillance video, and they have a suspect in custody. But in a case this high profile, where public skepticism is already sky-high, prosecutors will need to connect every single dot. Because when this goes to trial, the defense will argue that circumstantial evidence and speculation aren't enough, and the eyes of the world will be watching to see if justice is done for Charlie Kirk.